Okay, cheers.
Right. Welcome back to another edition of Live from the SNEWDIO. We got a couple of guests tonight, Willie Basse and Bob Nalbandian.
Bob Nalbandian.
These guys have been around forever on the Strip. They're going to talk about the Sunset Strip tonight, right?
Oh, definitely, yeah. We can't have Bob and Willie here not
Bob,
talking
you're
about
doing
the
a movie,
Strip.
right?
Yes.
Based on the scene in the 1980s, correct?
Well, it's going to be a 3-part movie. I guess I should focus
There you
here.
go, camera.
The first,
You're supposed to
first,
pretend the camera's not here. It doesn't exist. Yeah.
the first
talk.
installment,
You're
we'll
talking to
say,
us,
is going to be on actually pre-80s, 1975 to 1981.
Okay.
Yeah.
1981, right?
Yeah, that's where we had to cut off somewhere, and we wanted to do it before the whole scene exploded. And so the following one's going to be from like 82 to 86 when the big LA metal explosion with the Motley Crue, Rat, Wasp,
Okay, so the first one is before all that takes place.
Yes.
So before all that. Oh,
Yeah, we got right now 3 is what is the plan. Yeah. What camera? I was looking over there. That light over there. Yeah.
So what was the difference between 75 and 81 from 82 to, like, say, 86? I mean...
Oh, huge difference. I mean, the scene, as Willie knows, he was
Yeah.
around there playing
Okay.
the scene. It was before MTV. It was before the whole,
I think Bob just dated you.
Really?
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Willie was around before the scene.
Dated in the term
he was a
of
babe.
Outdated, not
Dated is
by
a term of timing.
dating.
Not that you guys are going steady. Not that there's anything wrong with that either.
No.
So no MTV. That was the main difference.
And there were so many clubs. I mean, the Starwood. You've been at the
You
Starwood.
had to be talented to get a gig back then.
There wasn't a pay to
It wasn't
play.
about selling any tickets or anything. Because the club owners had a knack for putting the right bands together. Like I opened for Psychedelic Furs, the Motels, just a host of bands that a metal band would normally play with.
Is this the
But
Black Sheep?
That it would be pre-Black Sheep. Like Madame Wong, Esther had a really good sense, a feel of the music and mixing different genres together and giving us crossover exposure.
Who is Madame Wong?
She owned 2 clubs in town.
Madame
Wong.
Madame Wong's East and Madame Wong's West.
Yep.
Hold
One's
on,
in
guys.
Chinatown
Change the
and
battery
one was-
pack.
No.
That's okay.
Okay, we'll continue.
Yeah, like they get in the last person.
They don't charge you battery pack.
Well, it looks like it's still rolling.
So Madame Wong's East and West. We're talking about that.
Madame Wong's in Chinatown was the first one.
Yep.
And it was just a great scene, It was there when the police rolled up in a U-Haul truck.
That's great.
No one knew who they were.
Yeah.
But before that, Judas Priest played the Starwood, then, Cheap Trick would roll up with a, 45-foot tractor trailer of gear, and it was like a big deal to see those bands, come and play. And, AC/DC played, and Bon Scott got arrested for peeing on the front row. Just crazy.
Don't get any ideas, Curtis.
Dana Strum had a
Oh, yeah, I
band
got
called
ideas,
Bad Axe. Remember Bad Axe?
I remember the name. Yeah.
Man, he used to rehearse at Buddy Miles' place.
Rush played the
they were
Starwood.
killer. Yeah.
A lot of major bands.
Everybody played there. You had to have a record deal to play there. We played there a couple times.
Where was it?
Santa Monica and Crescent Heights.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It was the shit too, like big
I
stage,
was
big
just-
PA,
yeah.
full lights, the whole nine.
So when did you
It's a shopping center now.
Yeah.
when did you start your magazine? The Headbanger.
That
right?
was 82. Yeah, that was 82. So that was.
I didn't know that was your mag.
Yeah.
That was
That was my old fanzine.
Wow.
So tell us a little bit about the magazine, Headbanger.
I was a big. I mean, I was started at like I was 17. I grew up in Orange County, so that was.
What was
we
that
had
club down there that everybody
Woodstock.
played? The Woodstock.
Woodstock.
And then
Radio
was it?
City right next door.
Yeah.
then
Wasn't
you
there was a third one too,
The
right?
Concert Factory.
Yeah, it
that was
was-
the old Cuckoo's Nest. It turned into, that was a punk mecca, and then it became the Concert Factory. There were a few clubs out there and stuff. But I mean, there was a big scene in Orange County, and all the LA bands, you know, at the time, you know, the Motley Crue's, Wasp, you know, Rat, you know, Snow, all these bands would play the Woodstock and, you know, Concert Factory and stuff. So, you know, I would see a lot of stuff there, and then I would go up. But that's when I started the fanzine, just because I was a big into the whole European and New Wave of British heavy metal scene. So I started doing that, and then I started doing a lot of stuff on the local bands as well. So we just kind of, because there weren't any really metal magazines. I mean, you had the Circus and the big, you know, Circus
Right, I remember
and Cream and Hit
Circus.
Parader, and
Yeah.
you know, this
Used
was
to make-
long before
yeah.
Rip and all the other, you know, metal magazines. It was the fanzines that were pushing. You know, I did the first article on, you know, Metallica, and one of the first on Metallica actually, and Slayer and Megadeth and Armored Saint, and you know, we did a lot of those bands, and then a lot of the European bands as well. So
So what do you guys think of the script today, as of right now?
what strip?
Yeah,
I'm just saying, it's still there, there's still clubs there,
I
but
think there's a lot of tumbleweeds kind of rolling around.
They get better bands. I mean,
There's-
speaking of which, I actually just went there yesterday to the Roxy to see a band called Scorpion Child, who's kind of got that
I've
70s
heard of them. Those
throwback
guys
back.
are good.
They're good. They're a
from
good band.
Texas, the band's from Texas.
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
really good.
And
They look past 70s.
yeah. So, you know, I think now they're starting to get a few better shows. I know the Whiskey's been doing some shows. I think they've had to, because, you know, the Key Club's closed. There's rumors that the House of Blues might be closing down now.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Gibson Amphitheater closed. There's not a lot of live venues
And
left.
then with that being said, they're redoing the Forum, and they're opening that up again in January.
Yeah, well, they've been doing shows there here and there.
Yes, but now they're like going back in, the guys from Madison Square Garden bought it, and they're gonna renovate it, and they're gonna open it up with the Eagles playing there.
Wow.
So that's gonna do some competition with Staples Center, but it's nothing for the smaller bands though, right? They didn't get a headline.
We'll just have to
opening
play
yet.
there.
Yeah,
But that means the smaller band's gonna play there now.
that's true.
We're just saying if we play before.
That's right.
That means we got to tune up, huh?
That's right.
Hey, we ain't no fucking small band. I don't like that
We're a big
label.
giant band.
Giant.
So when is this movie gonna be coming out?
DVD is planned for February 2014.
So that's gonna be a series?
Well, right now it's going to be a three-parter. Like I said, this is going to be on the early years. It's called the Pioneers of Los Angeles Hard Rock.
Is the third issue going to be the like now? Like
No, third is going to be on
like
the.
has been one of these.
It's going to
hang on
be
the strip?
it's going to be a 90-minute episode on Leonard Spickle.
I'll be at the Rainbow with Lemmy getting drunk.
Yes. Actually, yeah, third one's going to be. That's what we got to say about that.
Yeah.
It'll be a surprise. You'll see.
So was it hard getting a lot of musicians to be in the movie? Or-
That was the easy part.
That was the easy
Editing's
part.
the hard part. I mean, I knew a lot of these guys, and once we started to get it going, you know, everyone, you know, knew people. Oh, you got to get so and so, and even the big ones. I mean, you know, one of the easiest interviews we got actually was Lars Ulrich. I mean, you know, I've got a history with Lars from way back in the day, and
That's cool.
he just said, "Yo, call my."
Did you date him too?
No. You know,
Really
I'm looking for
dated
a
him.
black man.
Once you go black, you never come back.
Actually, I did see Willie. The first time I saw him was at the country club with Black Sheep. And
really?
I think that was 19. You know who brought me over to the show was Rick.
That was with Slash then.
Yeah. No, it was with
No,
Paul
with
Gilbert.
Gilbert.
Paul Gilbert
Okay.
was no. So this was '84, I think. So
It was- yeah, it was
we were a
Gilbert.
three-piece.
That was
You,
Didn't Pete
Paul
play with you
Gilbert.
guys?
Slash?
Yeah, no.
He replaced Gilbert.
Yeah, this guy's had everybody in his band.
Yeah.
God.
We should be talking to this man. He's too big for us to get on our documentary. We can never get this guy. I mean, here, you can get him on the SNEW documentary here. He's got the best stories.
That's because we're big time. We're going to play the
Yes.
Yes.
We get all the cool guests.
Always
You'll
have
play the
fun
parking
playing
lot.
with Snow.
But
It's like,
but we
you guys are great.
we know Willie. He played on our last album. But I've known him
but we
forever.
go back, yeah.
I've known this guy, geez, half my life.
He used to rehearse at my studio. You know, I was.
Way back.
So that's how you guys met, right?
When I was just getting started, Willie had a studio.
What was the band you had? A Harlot?
Oh, God.
I ran into
Don't
the
even make me
guitar
straighten
player.
my
He lives
brain.
across the street from my drummer. The guitar player, yeah.
Really?
Yes. He's doing an Alice Cooper tribute or something now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was amazing. It
So when
was
you first met him, did you
crazy.
think you could sing good?
He was great, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I was
He's
just
been
back
doing
then,
my
so,
art
you know,
department
got
for
a little
30
bit better.
years.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I used to do graphics for, flyers for all the bands in town.
Back when you had to draw by hand.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and
the rub off
so I did
letters.
stuff for Willie and like all these other bands in town and everything.
So I used to do these keg parties. I don't know. Did you ever come to our keg parties? Three bands, 3 kegs, and 1,000 people.
We did Orange County, Huntington Beach things. Leather Wolf and bands like that had their keg.
Leather Wolf
parties.
rehearsed at my studio for years.
Oh yeah,
man. Yeah.
And that was in the Valley, right? By the
Right
country
when
club,
about the time
wasn't
they
it?
got signed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there was Poison, Warrant, Bitch.
Right, Betsy.
Rehearsed at my place forever.
Yeah.
The Knack,
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Jeff Scott Solo,
Yeah.
another
What
one.
was his old band, Panther? Remember them?
So,
See, Vicky Hamilton
Yeah.
used to shop all the bands. She shopped Motley Crue. She shopped
Guns N' Roses.
like everybody in town, and it's really weird because a lot of the bands she couldn't get a record deal in the beginning, and then they later on got signed, and it was just like then when Guns N' Roses happened, and it was like anything she's touched turned to gold.
Was that one of her
best.
bands?
Yeah.
Salty Dog?
Yeah,
outside she did Lions and Ghosts too. I think
Lions and Ghosts, I
I saw
remember
those
that.
guys play right behind the Jack in the Box there, near Amoeba Records over
and then
there.
Faster Pussycat, of
Yeah.
course, was her band.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm gonna be a total fangirl and just say that I did. I drive around LA every day, and I'm such a huge rock fan. And I drive up and down Laurel Canyon, and I work near the Sunset Strip, and I go through that traffic every single day just to drive by the clubs because it feels good to me.
Cool.
And to hear you guys talk about this is such a treat. I just wanted
It's
to
our
say
life,
that.
Yeah.
man. I
Yeah.
mean, we used to hit every pole. Speaking of Laurel Canyon, every pole, man. Because
I know it's all about that.
yeah, we just
Flyers.
Guys, with that being said, do you think bands actually put the effort forth to do that now? Or do they just expect
it's all
people
Facebook.
do they just expect people to go on Facebook and,
it's
and
all
show up to the
social media.
shows?
Well, you can't even do it the way you used to because
There's no personal.
you get busted.
Right, and also you actually
Yeah.
pen palled and wrote people, like you had to put on a postcard to let them know that you actually had a show coming up. I remember handing out those and sending them out 15 cents a pop, so.
We're still pretty young, but I feel like we're right almost in the middle of both
Right.
generations where I grew up not having a cell phone or anything like that. So I'm used to that, but now being, having them for so long now that they've been accessible
Yeah.
for maybe the past decade, everybody has one. So it's not uncommon to see everybody walking down the street with a phone, So I know a couple people that don't, and I wish I could do it. I wish I could, but I think along with that, yes, people have gotten lazier. Kids in school, they go right to the internet to look up for stuff. They don't go to the library anymore, read a book. They just
True,
you
one
can read it all online and download it and stuff.
That has really changed that whole aspect of flying.
but we can
Instant
So-
gratification, right? Everything's instant gratification.
Yeah, we were talking about how
drugs. We were talking about
if
drugs.
bands nowadays, are
Sex
working
life.
hard enough, and if they, care, like the good old bands in the old days did.
Yeah, well, that's a tough question. Do they care? Because I don't know.
I think some of them do.
I mean, I think
And
the younger,
some of them
younger
are in it obviously
generation
for the wrong reasons.
was
but
separated by that period where everything was sampled, and it was I can just be a rapper instead of being a singer, and people didn't really learn to play their instruments and jam with other players the way we all did.
What do you think?
And I think that created a gap in the whole music ethic, and why there seems to be a lack in the great bands that were coming out of all these areas we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Well,
It's like a separation.
Yeah, I mean, the bands really had to
Yeah.
work for it too. You didn't have labels signing stuff left and right. I mean, after
Signing
Van
stuff,
Halen got signed, they weren't signing bands. That's when the punk and new wave thing hit. And you know, they didn't really start that signing spree till MTV came out, until
Yeah, in the
radio
80s.
got caught. But
Yeah.
you know, back then you had
need some more
Quiet
vodka.
Riot with Randy Rhoads. You had you know, George Lynch with Exciter. You had SNEW with Carlos Cavazo. You had Yesterday and Today coming out here all the time, and all these guys would play on the same stage sometimes at the Starwood or something. Just unbelievable bands, and none of them. They were all selling the place out. You know, I mean, you know,
they
it's
were
over
good.
1,000 people there.
Yeah,
but
because they were good.
Record
Yeah.
labels wouldn't touch them, you know. They didn't want another Van Halen. That
Yeah,
cookie
it
cutter
became-
mentality started like
MTV
after.
started that whole cookie cutter thing.
Okay, guys, I want to thank you for coming on the
With that
SNEW
said-
Studio show.
With
Yeah.
that being said,
The bucket is full now.
All right, everyone take a shot from it.
Let's look for Bob's movie coming out. You said
Yeah.
early next year,
Can't
right?
wait for
February.
that.
Can't wait to see
February
it,
next
man.
year.
Yes.
Dude,
Sounds very
congratulations.
And
Yes.
Willie, what do you got coming up? Anything?
I've got a tour coming up. We're gonna go out and feed America now.
Great charity,
FeedAmerica-now.org, and we feed the homeless. Got my childhood buddy from Texas is gonna come with us and cook this time.
Nice.
Bring a smoker, and we're gonna roll up and cook. You know, spread the love.
Okay.
That sounds
very
great.
cool.
More mental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't beat it, you know, feeding people and playing rock music. It's gonna be
Is
cool.
Patrick still playing with
Cheers
you?
to that.
No, I've got Bruce Belay from Racer X.
Wow. Dude. That's it? That's it. Oh, you
But I got him playing slide.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being here, man. It's always good to play with
Yeah.
SNEW.
New Year.
Thanks for being here.
We got.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Anytime.
Karen, Jenna.
Kira and Jenna.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Class enough.
Already done.
Oh. Right.